Las Vegas, the city of dreams, where the possibilities are endless. And the only limit is your imagination.
Come on! Yeah! Yeah!
For the third year running, this is where the National Rugby League has daringly chosen to kick off its premiership season.
They're back in town!
Our amazing game played out in a faraway theatre.
Here they come!
In Las Vegas, for heaven's sake, the land of eternal Saturday nights, where over the top is just the beginning. Sunday, a Fox League exclusive triple header.
OKR on the judge!
Following Hull Kingston Rovers and Leeds Rhinos, the big league takes centre stage. First up, it's the Knights and the Cowboys.
Oh, here we go.
Newcastle, a beachside city that somehow perfectly reflects its people. A wonder built on industry, coal and plain hard work. With new buy Dylan Brown, an understated coach in Justin Holbrook, and this very familiar superstar, one and only Kalen Ponga.
He gets Gorden trying a big game.
What about him? And yes, how about this other lot? A world away, North Queensland. The Cowboys. Tommy Dean, Sharp Az, and the brilliant Scott Drinkwater.
The Cowboys from the centre. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
How about them Cowboys?
An outfit right at home in this city of dreams. Next up, it's Dragons and the Bulldogs. It's impossible to tell you about the Bulldogs without first telling you about their culture, their people, how it's one big celebration down through the generations, how they carry one another through premierships and player powerhouses, present and past. Champion players like current captain Stephen Crichton. Yeah, to be honest, they don't make players like this anymore.
Oi! You having a party without me?
Like Barber, the great Terry Lamb. Didn't he know how to have fun? Still does. And finally, the Dragons, the Red V. Captain Clint Gutherson, Damien Cook, quick as a flash, Val Holmes, and this fella, Jaden Sewer. Can't he go?
Let the Saints go marching in!
What a way to kick off 2026. The NRL back in Vegas.
Viva Rugby League!
Daring to dream the biggest of dreams.
Let's go!
Right here on Fox League.
Hello and welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle, brought to you by Maccas and live in the entertainment quarter capital of the world, Las Vegas. And the first episode is right here with Gorden, Tallis, Andrew Webster and Brent Reid. And how good is it, boys, to be back again in Las Vegas? And what about the view? How good is it?
How good.
It's a good spot, isn't it?
Good to be
It's a
here.
magnificent spot, mate.
And you've dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, well, that's my big game jacket, big week jacket.
Reddy's just only shifted the Flamingo as a
already.
car park
local
attendant across the
ballet.
road. Thank you,
Mate,
mate.
got some tips, I tell you.
Is that right?
Yeah,
well, go buy a new jacket.
What
Mate, but how good is it? Like, it's so good to be back starting the season, and I'm never going to get sick of Las Vegas.
Yeah. What about you, Webby?
Yeah, I got here yesterday. It's, you know what I love? I just love how this is the third time I've been here for these games, like all of us, and just how the streets come alive with rugby league fans. You hear, I was at a bar last night, and surprisingly, there was a horse trainer from Mount Isa. There was a truck driver from Victoria. So they all converged on Vegas to celebrate the game.
We've got a huge show tonight, a triple header coming your way on Fox League this weekend. But what are we most looking forward to this week?
You know what, Braith? I'm looking forward to Kalen Ponga. You know my love with a love affair with the Ponga family. He looks fit. I've seen him this week. I've spoken to people in Newcastle. He's in tip-top shape, and he loves the big stage. I think he's going to have a big game tomorrow night. Sorry, not tomorrow night, Saturday night.
I'm actually, just what I mentioned before, I'm looking forward to seeing Bulldogs fans march to Allegiant Stadium, around midday on Saturday. They're going to fill up the Las Vegas Strip. Who needs Belmore Road? Let's do Las Vegas Boulevard, and they'll certainly add the colour and the excitement to this game.
Well, all sides are under pressure. So you've got the Cowboys, Dragons and Knights that probably didn't have the greatest season. So I'm looking forward to see how high they can bounce back, and the Dogs. Well, we're going to talk to the coach and captain later on to see what they've got for the year.
Big couple of games, isn't it, this weekend?
Massive.
Bordy, you looking forward to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Cowboys, after going home in the off-season, you just know that there's a fair bit of pressure on that organisation to get back to where they should be. The Dragons, they were disappointing last year, and then the Knights. They're a very proud region when it comes to rugby league, so you think that they want to bounce back as well.
Now, we hear the NRL and Peter V'landys staying in the US. So we've been here for 3 years. It's a 5-year deal. Is it going to remain in Vegas for the next 2 years? And what are the other ideas that you've been hearing?
It'll definitely stay here for the next 2 years. There's no real appetite to move it because it's been so successful. I know Peter's he's a good salesman for his product. He's talked about Miami, and I think he's pushing ahead for global round next year for sure. It's doubtful that it'll happen next year, but that's certainly part of his grand vision. I don't think they should move. If they should go anywhere, maybe LA, maybe SoFi Stadium. It's an incredible, $6 billion stadium there. But this is perfect for what we do. It's got everything that you need right here. You can walk to the stadium, and if there's any city in the US that speaks rugby league, it's Vegas.
Yeah, there's talk they'll make a profit this year, pretty significant profit, Braith, tells you how much this product's taken off. And I think, I'm with Webby, I think Vegas is the perfect place for it. But if you are going to expand, which I imagine they will down the track, I think England's the other destination you've got to go to. I think Super League needs help. I think we need to play games in Wembley. But I hate to see them leave Vegas. I think play more games overseas in the opening round. I think it'll happen down the track.
Very exciting for the NRL, groundbreaking really for V'landys and his team doing a magnificent job. But this is NRL 360, so let's get to the big stories. And the first one is Payne Haas moving from the Brisbane Broncos to the South Sydney Rabbitohs that caught everybody off guard. Journos, give me something. How did this happen?
Well, a great mate, Michael Carria's got the tip on this, and he actually rang me. I was actually at a pub, Braith, on a weekend off, and made a couple of calls, and we firmed it up. And obviously, the news came out later that afternoon. But look, I don't think this is one thing. I think it's a combination of factors. Everyone's pointing the finger at Michael Maguire, and it's hard not to think that's played a part when you hear Payne and his agent talk so positively about Wayne Bennett. I mean, that reflects to me on the current coach because they've spoken so glowingly about Wayne. So, yeah, I think there's a part of this is Madge, but I don't think it's just Madge. I think this is a cocktail of things that led to him leaving Brisbane.
What is the cocktail?
Well, I think money played a part. I think family played a part. Yes.
Did money play a part?
Yeah.
So you got more money to go.
I think you got more money at South.
Yeah, but it's been reported that it's close to the same amount of money. And to go to Sydney...
It's still more though, Gordy.
But to go to Sydney, it costs more.
But Brisbane didn't have right to reply either, right?
No, he made the decision.
That's what I mean. So if it was money, he would have went back to Brisbane and asked for another offer.
For me, it's nothing more sinister than Wayne Bennett getting his man.
Yeah.
I reckon Wayne would have been working on him for months and months, and Wayne not only gets one up on his old club, the Broncos, he also shuts the door on the Roosters, who has a long tainted history with. So I've been told by people internally at South that he was never happier than when he got Payne Haas on the books.
Yeah, listen, no one's surprised with the fact that he's gone there, and a big reason for that is Wayne. I mean, Wayne's a genius. They've got a relationship as it is. He's like a father figure. He'd be fantastic for Payne. So I don't think anyone's denying that or thinking that isn't a big reason, but a lot of people are saying that it's got something to do with Madge. Now, I want to hear what all three of your opinions are on it, because I look at it. It's very, regardless of, or disregard Wayne, he's at a premier club that's just won a premiership with a coach who's only been there for 1 year and won a premiership in his first year. He's got probably one of the best, if not the best, rosters alongside of him that could forge a dynasty over the next 2 to 3 years. He could have demanded more money in Brisbane.
And got it.
His family's in Brisbane. I hear he's got a good lifestyle up in Brisbane. So, although the Wayne is a big pulling card, there was a hell of a lot keeping him there.
There's been plenty of speculation.
So is it Madge or not, though?
Well, I don't know. The only people who know that, the only people who know that are Payne and the players at their club. But I can understand why publicly they're not going to come out and say it's Madge. He's still got to play there, and he's a respectful bloke, Payne. So, but I will say this.
Do you buy into why he's gone there?
Yeah, I will say this though about Madge. When he won a comp at South, his way of getting them to, I use these words with me in an interview, to climb the mountain again was to double down and go as hard as he did in terms of their training methods. And he says, some players weren't prepared to go that far again.
Yeah.
But whether that's at play, now, 100%. So whether that's at play again is going to be the big question. And I guess we're going to know in time.
What's your take, Gordy?
Well, for me, it's a surprise because Payne, all the noise. Look, he's off contract every second year, right? I thought R360 was going to be maybe a chance to go to South after winning a competition. That's the surprise for me. Leaving Brisbane with their budget, normally they keep their man. That was the surprise. I was shocked. Why did Payne leave? I reckon that's a $64 million question, because if he's getting roughly the same amount of money, I think it doesn't speak highly for Brisbane.
Well, yeah, this is the same story we heard at the start of last year. Our great mate Buzz was talking about army camps and spew buckets. He talked about it for 6 months. They won a comp.
Yeah.
So, you can criticise Madge's methods, and a lot of people do. A lot of people think he goes too far. And maybe it's probably played a part in this to an extent.
Yeah.
But they work. The intriguing thing for me, Braith, is at some point this year, I imagine Madge will go to that club and ask for a payroll, for a contract extension. If you're Brisbane, I'm not sure you can give it to him. Because you lose. Because we've all heard the... Look, I said similar to last year, right?
It's hard not to extend the
But
premiership.
how do you not...
No, it's not.
What do we
you just
judge,
say no.
What are we judging Michael Maguire on? He's gone there in 1 year and won a premiership with the team. They haven't even kicked the ball in year 2. Like, what are we judging him on? His past. On what's happened in the past where he's had success and then not continued.
But I'm sure you've heard the rumbling as well that, look, as I said, part of Payne's decision is probably related to Madge. I'm not saying it all is, but we've all heard that he's not the only player. There's other players at that club.
Are you worried other players might follow?
Well, when this story broke, someone rang me close to that club and said this is the tip of the iceberg. Now, look, players calmed down. They calmed down last season, right? Because as I said, we all heard the rumblings last season. Things calmed down as the season went on.
Did he change his ways halfway through?
Well, Buzz claimed he did.
Yep.
I'm not sure the Madge has got it in to change his ways, does he? And we're seeing how they're training now. I'm not sure he can change his ways. And why would you when you win comps doing it that way?
That's what I mean. We'll know. Like you can win a comp with the players. Maybe not having the full support of the coach. You can do it once, but I don't know if you can do it back to back.
That's the issue.
Do you think he's got to change, Gordy, or not?
Well, normally you do I think parenting's changed, right? So, I got a 22-year-old kid. I parent my 7-year-old different to the way I did back then, because you got to change with the current breed. Going and spending time with the Australian side, I was so nervous. But to see the young kids the way they come in now, they're totally professional. Yeah, they're totally different to me. You could have told me what to do and I would have went out there and did it. They don't do that anymore. I think it's more of a why are you not? I think you got to massage the player more, and maybe Madge, can he change to do that? I'm not 100% sure, because I'm not there day to day.
What about the Broncos? They've lost the World Club Challenge to Hull KR, sorry.
So of the last 3...
Yes. So I'm not reading into that by any means. I'm just stating what's happened. And then Payne has decided to move on next year to the Bunnies. And a few experts already were a little concerned about them backing up this year. Everyone's talking about Madge in second year and training as hard as they do in the pre-season. Are we worried about them this year, or do we think they start where they finished?
I don't think they can. They caught fire late in the season, like that. We'll never see a run like that from a team, or a run like that from a player in Reece Welsh really ever again.
It was his competition, right?
That's right. But
the Raiders had them beaten.
Yeah.
Penrith had them beaten.
Yeah.
And Melbourne, if you talk to Melbourne, if you go talk to those 3 teams behind closed doors, I reckon they'd say that they lost those games. Brisbane were fantastic. The run, Reece Welsh in the grand final, probably the greatest, I think, 80 minutes that I've watched at that level. But I think they can do it again. But it's got to be player-driven.
But I'm talking about
finals. It's player-driven.
Yeah, I'm not so much talking about the run they had last year and Reece was on fire and all that. I mean, the fact that Haas is moving on, they've lost the World Club Challenge. I'm not reading too far into that, but it's there are a couple of hurdles early on. Could have derailed it.
Well, they've got two 36-year-old halfbacks that didn't finish the game. So that's the elephant in the room. They've got young kids. So are you keeping the best front row arguably to play the game, or you're keeping two 36-year-old halfbacks? I think they got that upside down. I really do. Payne Haas has to be at that club, and he's not now. So they got to move forward. So they got to see, not this year, this is their last chance to dive through the premiership window.
I'm not overly concerned for them, Braith. I think Payne is the sort of guy who, now having made this decision, will focus on winning a comp because he's that sort of guy, right? And he's that driven. And I think Reece, you saw Reece in that World Club Challenge. Look, he didn't have a great first half. No one did. Second half, he inspired a comeback. I'm not overly concerned about him, but I'm not ruling out that things go pear-shaped at some point.
Yep. No, I agree. I think the Broncos will be fine. I'm a bit worried about players moving and all the rest, but I actually think they're still going to have a very good season. Zach Lomax, what about this? What about this?
Here we go.
What isn't happening?
I've missed NRL 360 because this would have been juicy over the last few months. You know, there's a lot going on, and Zach was told, see you later, by Peter V'landys because he'd apparently agreed to terms with R360. That fell through, and now the Melbourne Storm want him, and the NRL seem to be pushing him that way. Just the optics. I don't know. I could be wrong. Where are we at here? I'll come to you, Webby, on this.
Well, it's very interesting. So they're headed for the Supreme Court next Monday morning in the New South Wales Supreme Court, where it's going to come to a head. Whether Reed's got more on this than me, but whether there's a deal done between now and then, time's running out. It's very interesting that Parramatta have dug in as hard as they have and subpoenaed the NRL. So we're going to find out sooner than later exactly just how complicit the NRL was as the governing body in trying to get a player to go to Melbourne. They've been gone to great lengths whenever I've talked to Andrew Abdo and Peter V'landys saying that that's not the case. I did an interview with Peter V'landys for the Australian last week, in which he said, "Look, I don't care what club he goes to, as long as it's not we don't lose him to the game. The game doesn't need Zach Lomax." The guy wanted out.
Well,
he wanted to get out for money.
The guy
wanted out for money. The guy wanted out for money, and then he left on certain conditions, and now wants because it's all fallen over. That is not the game's responsibility to save Zach Lomax.
Can I put a fan's hat on now? Can I put a fan's hat on? If I'm a Parramatta fan and he goes, I'm going to rugby, you go, okay, see ya. I want to go to Melbourne Storm. I'd say no. So wouldn't you be on Parramatta's side?
Of course.
With that?
Of course.
I think most people are.
Most are.
Except for
Reedy.
Stormman next to me might have something.
Look, I'm not saying Parramatta shouldn't get something from Zach Lomax. I think they should. I think they should get financially compensated, which they will do at some point. But
what if they
in my
want a player?
view, what did Parramatta expect? He broke a contract to go to Parramatta, right? He then broke Parramatta's contract.
This is the worst logic. This is the dumbest logic.
I'm saying, why are they shocked by this? Right, and also, how many clubs are chasing Zach Lomax right now? Not many, only one as far as I know. There's not many that have reached out to Zach Lomax to sign him.
Why would they want to chase him now with everything going on? There's people being subpoenaed. There's messages being exposed. There was 4 or 5 clubs after him at Christmas. You heard that?
No, there weren't. No, that's incorrect.
That was wrong.
The lawyer went to Parramatta and said, how would you feel about if you went to one of these 3 clubs, Canberra, the Bears and Melbourne?
Yeah.
He never approached Canberra. They were just hypothetical clubs.
So you don't think there are other clubs that were interested in him?
Canberra came out publicly and said, we have no interest in Zach Lomax. We don't want to sign him. Okay. So maybe the Bears would have had a shot at him. But there aren't that many clubs beating a path to Zach Lomax's door, given his history, Braith.
So whose side are you on, Reedy?
Well, I think he should be back in the game. I want to see him back in the game. I think he's a great player.
Playing for who?
Well, Melbourne are the only club at the moment that's offered him a contract, Gordy. No one else has. Right, I'd love to see him in Melbourne.
You've got to live with your decisions at some time in your life, Brett.
That doesn't mean you should be. That doesn't mean you should be prevented from ever playing rugby league again.
He shouldn't have signed a contract. He shouldn't have said the condition in the contract of release.
He signed a contract before he went to Parramatta, and Parramatta happily took him.
So that's stupid logic.
How is that stupid logic?
Because he didn't. There wasn't a condition of his release from
Parramatta.
I'm
reading this, Reedy, in round 1.
From St George Illawarra.
You keep on taking people that break contracts. You're unlucky girl.
How many blokes break contracts in rugby league?
No, this is your logic. Zach Lomax breaks contracts, so he should be able to go to the Storm.
No.
What a load of rubbish.
He shouldn't be
What a load-
he shouldn't be prevented from returning to rugby. He shouldn't be prevented
Get
from
out of the
returning to
night.
rugby
Get
league.
out of the casinos.
Have you had a
So you're saying that's it? But Zach Lomax, you don't play the game anymore.
Unless Parramatta
No,
can get something out of it.
I've just said that.
No one's saying he should
then-
never play ever again.
No.
There needs to be some sort of punishment for the actions
There
that he
is.
took. You know, we're
is.
talking a 10-year ban to all of a sudden playing
Well, the
next year.
10-year ban was never going to happen, Braith.
Well,
You know
okay.
that.
Oh, hang on. It was never going to happen.
No.
Oh,
So why didn't you write that?
Hang on.
What do you mean? No one. Once they threw the 10-year bans out there, everyone backed off anyway. Payne Haas backed off. Jai Gray signed a new deal with South. Blokes backed off.
Do you think Parramatta have the upper hand? Should they get some compensation?
And I.
But you're
I've
talking
said
about
that.
money. You're talking about money.
What if they want to go?
The money's not the
Money-
it's not the
money-
money.
money-
It's not about the money.
So you want a player who doesn't want to go to Parramatta to be sent there? Because no one at Melbourne wants to go to Parramatta, as I understand it. None of the players that they want
I don't want
to
that.
go to
I don't
Parramatta.
care.
That's the predicament
Who
that
did
Zach
you hear that
Lomax
from?
has
He
found himself in.
signed the
That's
contract.
on Zach Lomax. It's not on Parramatta.
So I don't.
And they gave him a release under certain terms. Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
And Melbourne.
And what were the terms?
And Melbourne have offered him.
What were the terms? What were the terms?
They wanted compensation for
Now,
it.
what were the terms when Zach Lomax
Well,
signed
no,
the
the-
contract
the
to leave
Parramatta
Parramatta?
had the right-
What were the terms?
Parramatta had
Was there
the
any?
right
Was there any
It's very
term
boring.
that said that he's not to play for another NRL team?
under certain conditions? Yes, Parramatta could agree to
that's
release
it.
him.
Say no more.
Okay, so that's sorry, Zach. Don't ever play rugby league.
That's
You're
not what
done.
I said.
Well,
There just needs to be some sort of punishment for making this. Our game needs to have balls. You know, we need to stand by the decisions that we make. If we're going to come out and pump our chest and say it's a 10-year ban, how do we let a player play the next season for making a decision that he chose to make?
Hey,
There,
really?
Amen,
there
brother.
is a punishment. And
Really,
Melbourne,
what's the punishment?
Melbourne are going to pay a compensation fee
They
for
don't
it.
care
A
about the money,
significant
Rudy.
amount
It's
of
not
money.
about the
Hey,
money.
Brent.
Well, then what happens?
Just
Bro?
one-
If it's not money,
It's about
what
a
is it?
player. They
You're-
need a
Give him a
player.
rest. Give him a spell.
Come on, you
Can I just ask you once, just to jump on the fan side, and what's best for the game?
Yeah. What's best for the game is to have Zach Lomax playing rugby league.
Yeah,
Gordy.
at the
Yes.
club where he signs his contract.
Parramatta, he didn't want. Parramatta were happy to let him go.
To Rugby Union, not to Melbourne Storm.
Under the circumstances, they were happy to let him go. All right, let's talk about our great mate, Buzz Rothfield.
That's a bigger
Retired
shock.
from
Mate,
everything. We can't.
biggest shock.
I'm going to miss Buzz. I'm
So
gonna
am
miss
I.
him, you know, it was congratulations, Buzzy. We miss you already. We thought you were going to be here in Vegas. Hope that you're watching. But what about Buzz? Eh? I mean, you
What
guys
about
have worked
Buzz?
with him for a long time. Now, I want to hear
Where
some
would you,
stories.
how would you like me to answer that
Give us
question?
something.
You're a good mate,
Well,
Webby.
yeah, well, he
50
left
years
me.
in the game.
He left our podcast high and dry, so he's not my
Why
favourite
was he
bloke.
such a cult figure?
A cult figure?
Wait, he wasn't?
I thought you said cold
I thought you
figure.
said cold. He is
Oh,
very
yeah,
cold.
that too.
Because he's a lovable rogue, you know. TV was the best thing that happened to him in many ways.
I'm glad you said
because
that.
people got to see the larrikin Buzz, and you guys used to beat him up, and he used to get fans out.
Nah, he loved it. He loved every bit of it, Buzzy. And it's right, but like, we'd go toe to toe, but we'd walk off air, shake hands. He'd call me the next day. We'd have a laugh, and we respected each other. But one thing about Buzz is he got stories no one else could get.
Yeah.
You know, and he had the to come on air and to take anyone on and to deliver those stories. And he worked very hard. And I'm sure working alongside him, Reedy, you would have seen it firsthand.
Braith, I mean, well, I'd ring my mum and dad every Monday night after I leave the show, right? I go home, ask how the show goes, and they always say to me, or my mum says, don't ring again till you apologise to Buzz. Because they love him, right?
My
And
mum
that's-
used to say the same thing.
And that's what television and 360 did to Buzz.
Yeah.
Buzz, it humanised him.
Yeah, and I
right?
reckon the last 18 months, that was the most question. Leave Buzz alone.
Yeah.
Mate, but you know what? He loved it. And I think playing a role,
Yeah.
you know, in this game, you've got to play some roles. And I thought, I still call him the old crocodile, no matter how much you feed him.
yeah.
I mean, he's going to bite you, but he was fantastic.
Sorry for having an opinion, mate. What about some stories? You got a story for us?
Buzz tried to fight me the first time I met him at the after party in 2005. When I joined the Telegraph in 2009, Bozo, Fulton and I weren't on particularly good terms, and we had a big Barney on the phone, and I went out over to Buzz and I said, I reckon you're going to get a call from Bozo any minute. Sure as enough, the phone rung, and Buzz goes, I promised him editorial independence when he joined from the Herald. And Bozo goes, it hasn't stopped you in the past.
What about you, Rudy? You got anything for us?
Mate, he just had a great contact book, didn't he?
Yeah,
the amount
he
of
did.
times he'd ring you up with a tip. There's so many stories he gave to other journalists that he didn't write himself. He was happy to share, and he was a great mentor to a lot of us.
All right, we're going to get to a break after. We're going to catch up with the Bulldogs coach and captain. But before we go, here are some of Buzzy's absolute best. Breaking news, Buzz, over the past hour. Talk us through it.
Dylan Brown, Parramatta Eels 5'8", is signed for 10 years at the Newcastle Knights. Your manager tried to tell me that you were strictly a corporate ambassador. Mine was a question of your ability to juggle two roles. You started last week. I gave him a say, which is fair. I allowed him to tell his story.
Buzzy, I love you, and you're doing a great
mate,
job.
feelings are mutual, but what you do in this business, Rudy, is...
Oh, please tell me.
Now and again, you've got to say, geez, I might have got this wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong about the dogs.
Thank you. Next, please.
You want to move on? You're hosting this show, are you, Buzzy?
Every step of the way.
Look, I don't want to sound like a broken record. A player has left the club. Bottom line is, and the statistics don't lie here, sin bins are up 140%. Spit it out. What's wrong?
I can't be. I'm just asking you a question.
If you want me to sit here on a Monday night and not have an opinion, I'm happy to say, I am. I'm happy to stay quiet. I'm sorry for having an opinion, mate.
You're allowed to have an opinion, Buzzy. I just don't agree with it.
Well, fair enough.
Welcome back to NRL 360 live from Las Vegas. What better place to officially announce rugby league to Sin City than in a nightclub? And we're lucky to be joined by superstar fullback Scotty Drinkwater. Scott, great to see you. Welcome to Vegas. How have you enjoyed life so far in Sin City?
Yeah, it's been good. We got here late Friday night, come down here sober and listen to Duke Jamont for a little bit, and then, we enjoyed ourselves Saturday. Other than that, it's been a bit of training, a bit full on. Tried to stay away from the strip as much as possible. You can walk too many kilometres there, but I've enjoyed it.
You were spotted at the card table. Was it the card table? Are you much of a punter?
I don't play the cards. I like playing roulette.
Red or black?
Red or black, and if it loses, I double my bet. So start with 100. If it loses, I'll go 200. If it loses, I'll go 400. And it can be really risky. I follow the colour. But I'm probably up at maybe like 4,000 Aussie at the moment. So
You're up?
Working. Yeah, it's working. I think I'm like one of two in our whole team that's up.
Keep that going, or maybe quit.
No, we're not allowed until Saturday, but I won't be betting anymore. I might give it to the wife now.
Now, we are here to entertain in America, right, and put rugby league on the world map. We love what you and Tommy did and do. You have this wonderful chemistry on the footy field. What can we expect when you get to officially open the NRL season at Allegiant on Saturday?
Yeah, look, we're trying to focus more in on being a bit more of a gritty, grindy team and take the flashy plays away and try and be smarter when we do that. Defend really well and play the game the right way, and then all the little small effort areas, they can turn the big moments. So that's where we're trying to get to, but opportunity presents ourselves. We both don't shy away from it, so but we'll still back ourselves in situations.
Scotty, thank you so much. We won't keep you away now. The fans are here to see you, so thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there you have it, Braith. This is an awesome experience for the fans today. But tomorrow night, it'll all be about the Fan Fest at Fremont Street in Old Town, downtown Las Vegas, and we can't wait for it.
Thank you, Lars, and welcome back. I've got two very special guests with me, the captain and coach of the Canterbury Bulldogs, Cameron Ciraldo and Stephen Crichton. Guys, thanks for joining us. How's the first week been in Vegas?
It's been outstanding, to be honest. Got to enjoy a night out at the start and hang around with the boys and just see them enjoy themselves. And then they've got to work straight away after that. So can't fault the first 5 or 6 days, but got a few more days of prep left now.
How about you, Critter? You've played in grand finals, you've played Origins, Test matches. How does this one compare?
I reckon this will probably be the best one out of them all, especially to showcase our game here in Vegas. It's going to be a special occasion, and it's truly grateful to be a part of it.
Matty Burton was named after limping off. Is he likely to play?
I think he had a scare that he was going to miss this, so I think that's why he limped off. He's fine. Scanned straight away, said there was nothing there, and he trained really well before we got on the plane to come over. So, he hit the roof at the Raiders facility the other day, so I'm pretty sure that says his hamstring's fine.
He could go right at NFL. Has he talked about that at all?
No, he hasn't. He could go all right, but he could go all right for us too. So I'm really more excited
There's
about
no doubt about that. Yeah. What about Lockie Galvin? There's been a lot spoken about him, obviously, last year. He's in the Haas with Birdo. A great opportunity for him. I've heard he's been training the house down, which is great. How's his preparation been, and what are you expecting from him?
Really good. The only unfortunate thing for him is he's 20, so he couldn't come out with the boys earlier in the week.
That's true.
But his family's here. They've all come over. They're excited about watching him play over here as well. But his pre-season's been really good for a 20-year-old, learning what it takes to win NRL games. He's come in every day. He's learned his lessons. Some days haven't been perfect, but what I love about him is every day he learns and he comes back a better player the next day.
What about you, Critter, playing alongside of him? Again, he's had, for a young guy, he's had a lot of pressure, a lot of media speculation, but he seems like the ultimate professional. What's he like to play with?
Yeah, he is. I feel like just off the back of coach, the pre-season that he's had, he's been leading the fitness. And he's out there practicing his tackles as well. So I'm that excited to see how he goes, especially here in Vegas for round one. And to stand next to him will be pretty cool.
What did the playing group learn from the finals last year, and what are you working on this year so it doesn't happen again?
Probably just moments in the game. There's some crucial moments there that if we had our time back, I reckon we would have had different decisions in those big moments. And just watching those back and how close we actually were, it gives the boys great confidence, and working on that throughout the pre-season, just how important those moments, especially even if it's at the end of the game or at the start of the game, it's very important to nail those moments for the big win at the end. So just taking those lessons in.
Stephen, what about as captain? You're a young captain, but you're a great one. What's your message to the players before you run on the field at Allegiant Stadium?
Just having each other's backs, and obviously throughout the week, preparation is very important as well. Not playing the game too early in your head. Game day is probably the most fun day of the week, but throughout the week, nailing our prep, even on days off, making sure the boys' bodies are right to go. And when it's game time, I just kind of let them do what they do and play footy as well. So probably they hear more from me throughout the week and in those preparation times. But other than that, it's just building that team culture away from footy field as well.
Do you follow the NFL? Is there going to be a special run out, any Ray Lewis or?
Nah, I don't follow the NFL, but even to be here in Vegas is going to be pretty mad, and to run out in that stadium is going to be crazy. So I can't wait.
Cameron, what about Leo Thompson? Bad news for you guys and for him. I heard he's been killing it in the pre-season and with that calf injury. A bit of a setback.
Yeah, a little one, but I think if you look across the board, all teams have probably got one or two injuries leading into the season, and unfortunately, Leo's new to our club and he's just our guy that's missing out. But been really happy with the squad depth we've built over the last few years, and Sam Hughes has done a really good job when he's played that role for us over the last couple of years, and he'll get a really good opportunity this week. You
made a couple of big changes last year to your squad, and it was in the media to get the team to another level, to premiership worthy. I'm not sure if they were the exact words, but to put you in a position to win a premiership. Are you happy with the squad you've got now? Will there be any changes, or there is belief in the side that you have right now?
Really happy with our squad. I think there's a lot of belief, but we've got to let our performances do the talking, to be honest. Like, doesn't matter how much we believe, we've got to go out there and perform to the way we know how we can. And it's exciting. It's really exciting for our club. We've got a lot of fans here this week, and that's been really evident today, running into them all, and it all starts Saturday night.
Was there any reservations, obviously coming to Vegas, it's a long way to come just for the round one. Was there any reservations as a coach to bring your side here?
I think the first couple of years, I don't know if our club was ready for it. Yeah. We were a developing squad. We were sort of settling on our squad. And as a club, we were sort of building. So over the last 3 years, I think we've built to the point where we're ready to come over here now and we're ready to handle these big games and big atmospheres. And it's a really exciting weekend for our club.
Good on you, Stephen. Yep. Good on you, Cameron. Good luck, go the doggies, and good luck up against those Dragons.
He's happy today.
I am.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get to a break after it. We're going to catch up with Matty Johns and Brian Carney. What could go wrong? And earlier today, Andrew Voss was on the Vegas Strip talking to some of the fans that have made their way over to Las Vegas.
The Newcastle Knights in Vegas. Did you bring your wooden spoon, mate?
Oh, sorry.
How long ago did you book to come and watch rugby league in Vegas?
We booked as soon as we knew it was on.
Staying in a motel where you think you look up and you see the sky, but it's all inside.
Yeah.
And you just keep on walking, it's inside. It's freaking unbelievable.
You're playing the world champions, so if you win, will that make you the champions of the universe?
They're already champions of the universe.
What, league?
Yeah.
I love rugby. I love it.
And a rugby league?
Rugby league. I love the rugby league. I love all the leagues.
All right, what are you most looking forward to Sunday?
Winning.
That'll do me.
Up the Cowboys.
Hang on. I don't know about that. Thank you. Cheers.
I wouldn't sleep a minute away.
Welcome back to NRL 360, and here it is, the Coliseum, Allegiant Stadium, where the triple header will take place this weekend, starting with Super League and, of course, the launch of the NRL season. We've got two of the best mates joining us right now, Matty Johns and Brian Carney. How are we, legends?
Going good. Going great. I'll pick you up quite seriously that you said best of mates. Actually, and seriously, we're more than mates. We're actually
brothers.
Oh, beautiful.
We are, mate. We're family.
I love him like a brother.
And how did you two meet?
Like me and Joey, like
Who's more of a brother, Joey or...
I met him through Joey. I roomed with Mick Jenkins, used to play at the Knights.
Yeah.
Played with him in Hull and Gateshead. And he used to put me in contact with Joey, and through Joey, I met Matty when he came to Wigan. I moved to Wigan at the same time, and we hit it off, didn't we?
We did.
Straight away.
We did, straight away.
How was Wigan together?
Yeah.
Are you two getting your hands pretty handy?
Instantly, it was forgettable for him, but I had a good 5 years there.
Yeah. They were actually, I remember Beaver used to say all the time, I think we've signed the wrong
job. Got Frank Endicott saying.
Walk us through your journey from the Gaelic football. How did you get into rugby league?
I grew up in a tiny village, Gordy, called Valley in Wicklow. Gaelic football was the main sport. Yeah. Played a bit of rugby union in secondary school. Fell out of love with that because none of my friends played it. And then went to university, and in university, some guy grabbed me. He says, "Listen, there's a game called rugby league." He said, "We played in the summer in the parks. Do you want to come and play?" So I came and played. Ended up playing for the Irish amateur side. Shane Richardson saw a video. He had just setting up a team in Gateshead. Asked me to come over. Brought me for a night out in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is phenomenal. Like, he's a young fella. I said, "Where do I sign?" $15,000 or pound contract, and it went from there. Yeah.
Went to Hull FC, then ended up.
But Hull FC.
And people forget the fact he came out and played in the NRL with Newcastle and got Dalian Winger of the Year.
Any good stories for us, Matty, about your mate Brian over here?
Don't sink me.
Okay, here's one. So once there's a bloke, Neil Cowie, terrific bloke, very sort of obtuse sort of guy. Anyway, he had this superstition. He had this frog that his daughter gave him. Anyway, we kidnapped it, and anyway, he was filthy. Anyway, one thing led to another, and
he threatened. He says, "Leave the frog alone. It means a lot to me."
and so what happened? One of the boys had a spare key to Brian's car, and what had happened? I'll reverse engineer this, as they say. So we're driving along, right? We're going along the M6. We're driving about 60 kilometres, and we used to listen to Peter Allen. Remember on the way? We'd go, "Where my baby? Where my baby? Smiles at me. I go to Rio de Janeiro. I'm a salsa fella." That's all right. And all of a sudden, it was like lightning hit the car, and the whole back half of the car just flew off, rose like a phoenix, and started bouncing down the road. And we're like, so we pulled over to the side of the road, reversed up.
"What do we do now?" He says, "Effing sling it." No, just threw it over the side of the motorway, drove to training.
And what they did, overnight, they went to Brian's car with the spare key, and they took all the screws off the hatchback and cut it. And they thought that the moment Brian had turned on the car, it had fallen to bits. But he drove to Chorley, picked me up, and it wasn't until we hit 60 miles an hour.
I know. I laugh about it now. Every time I drive past that motorway junction, I think, "Ooh, Jesus."
Brian, what about Hull KR, the Super League, but Hull KR and what they've been able to achieve? The 4 trophies, Willie Peters.
Unbelievable, Braith. I keep pinching myself. Willie and I played together at Gateshead. He was actually my landlord for about 2 months. Great fella, all the time in the world for Willie. Love him to pieces. I cannot believe how good it's been for them. It's a really, really good story. It's a city split. Black and white's on one side, Hull KR on the other side. They hate each other. Hull FC have had the ascendancy for probably the last 40 years or so. Yeah. And then Willie comes in, takes a side that won 3 games in 2020 to all 3 trophies last year, and that performance against the Broncos last Thursday, they were exceptional against. And it's a Michael Maguire coach side. Doesn't go there for a holiday, doesn't go there for a trial game, and he demolishes them. So,
how is the game over there? So they had the tour, then you've just become the world champions. How is the game? And now Vegas. Has that given the game an injection over there?
Yeah, it's a good question, Gordy. I saw you over there for the Ashes. I think it's probably brought home where we're at. We're desperately in need of a capital injection and an injection of expertise. Now, you can get that from many sources. You can go and get that from private equity funds who will come in and take a slice of the pie, and then they'll want a return on their money. Or you could have a partner like the NRL who can inject capital and obviously experience and professionalism and leadership. And that's probably, I think, where we're at as a game.
Just changing tact a little. Apparently, while you were in Vegas, you were escorted back home in a wheelchair. Is that true or false? No. Just a little birdie told me that.
Yeah, there's some salt and pepper on that story. That's not me.
I love the cowboy hat.
I woke up in the morning, there's 2 cowboy hats on the floor of my bedroom, and one of them's burnt. And, it's Vegas.
It gets the best.
It's Vegas, thanks for that.
What about you, Matty? How you been going? Has Vegas got the best of you yet?
Always does. Yeah. You get there and it's like Pavlov's dogs. You go, I swear to myself, I say to my wife all the time, mate, this time I'm not going to do it. And the moment that desert air hits you, it just changes. I texted my wife today and I said, I love you so much and I miss you. She said, what have you been up to?
Good on you, Matty. Good on you, Brian. Enjoy the footy.
Thanks, Braith.
Enjoy the week. Stay safe. No more wheelchairs.
Oh.
All right, we're going to get to a break after. We're going to catch up with Hull KR's coach, Willie Peters. And don't forget tonight, starting face-to-face with Shane Flanagan. Breaking news for the Dragons. What's happening?
Shane Flanagan will be the Dragons coach for the next 3 years.
Here come the Dragons. In Flanagan they trust.
Watching us last year, Flanagan, lose a lot of really close games against sides you should beat.
You know, we've just got to be better this year. We've got to find a way to win.
Hey, boys, this is what I'm talking about on the weekend.
I'm coaching better than I was in 2016. But you've got to have the cattle, Matty. You've got to have the cattle.
I think Shane Flanagan's trying to drill in a bit of passion, a bit of heart, a bit of character in their team.
How's your relationship with the media now compared to, 10 years ago?
What happened at the Sharks in 2014, a lot of the players just had negative thoughts about media.
A pained expression on the face of his father and coach.
Even though he's my son, there's no kid tries harder than him.
Not just a father, but he's a coach. That must be tough.
The last year or two has been, there's probably a fair bit of undeserved criticism.
Welcome back to NRL 360. As you can see here, Hull KR will play the lead up to the game on the weekend, and they are World Club champions. Mikey Lewis on fire. 4 trophies this year for Hull KR, and again we'll see them take the field this weekend. And we've got their coach, my little mate Willie Peters, joining us all the way from Hull. How's Vegas?
Good, mate. I'm a bit worried about this chair, but other than that,
You were scared of heights as well.
I am scared of heights, mate. I'll get that out of the way straight away. But
we've got a good setup here, Will. Now, I want to ask you, we've been mates for a very long time now. I was your ball boy back when you played for Zetland. How did you get from playing in the South Sydney competition, obviously playing first grade, to the head coach of Hull KR and then winning 4 trophies this year?
Yeah, look, coaching's always something that I wanted to do. I finished playing at 26. I was early. Had a couple of years away from the game. Started the 16s, went to 18s and 20s. So I did my time through the grades. But always wanted to go to England. I always wanted to coach in the Super League. Got the opportunity at Hull KR. I saw there was a lot of there was some senior players that were there at the time, but some juniors coming through, Mikey Lewis and Jez Litton. They thought we could possibly do something. So. I got to obviously Hull KR, and we've had some success along the way.
In your wildest imagination, did you think that you could turn Hull KR into this powerhouse?
There was a plan, Gordy. Obviously when you coach, you're doing it to win. Yeah. You're doing it to improve players, and that was the plan. To turn KR into a powerhouse. But did I think we could do it as quickly as what we did? Probably not. Initially, it was about being a top 4 club, and we achieved that in the first year. We made the grand final the second year, and then there was probably expectation off the back of that, which is cool. It's a privilege to be in a position like that. So, bought a couple of players that we thought could help us win, in Mickey McIlorum and Jared Weir-Hargreaves, and they certainly helped us do that.
Can I ask one question? How do you keep their feet on the ground? So you've won every trophy, as Braith just alluded to. You're in Vegas. You're the world champions. Are the players? Is it hard to get them back up?
Not for this week, no way. No. It's probably when we go back to the UK. No disrespect, but we're playing Huddersfield the week after, and there'll only be like 3,000 people there. So it's going to be totally different to playing in Vegas and obviously World Club Challenge. But look, the group's matured a lot over the last sort of few years. They enjoy playing in big games, and they certainly enjoyed last week.
Willie, what was Hull like when you first got there? Because a lot of people have seen your success now, and there's a lot of people saying that you're the next in line for a first grade job back in Australia, which we'll get to. What was it like when you first walked through the doors, and how much has it changed?
As I said, I saw potential in the place, but I think with any organisation, it's about getting the right people in. We had very good people in the first place, but we just had to bring a few more good people in. So I'm a massive believer. Yeah, great people obviously create great environments. So there was a lot of great people there initially, but I think that's what helped us sort of get to that next level. Like rugby league's a team sport.
Really, ambitions to come back to the NRL? Are there?
Yeah, there are, mate. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, there are. And our board know that. You know, Paul Aiken, our CEO, is aware of that. It's just about being open and honest and having conversations when and if they ever present themselves. But I've got a job to do here, mate, and that's obviously to win this weekend or help the team win this weekend and, try and go back to back.
Can you talk us through your fans, like following you guys on Instagram now and like you win, they come, I'm so in love with you, they just sing, like the Aussie fans, there's just no noise compared to the English.
Yeah, mild over in Australia. Like the English fans are crazy. There was just a fan evening before and allowed us with the UK fans. And if, NRL fans haven't been over, it's worth going over to just to watch a game over there because it's a different atmosphere. They sing from minute 1 to minute 70, 79. It's a great atmosphere. But obviously the pinnacle of rugby league is in Australia, which is the NRL. But the Super League is a great product and, we're obviously working hard to make sure that we sort of close the gap.
Willie, what was it like to be involved with the Ashes and being involved with the Australian team, Gorden and Kevy with the success over there in England?
Yeah, it was great, alongside the big fella.
Yeah.
I was worried I was going to room with him. It didn't happen. He would have got me in headlocks. And
what was he like, honestly? What
unreal.
was he like?
Mate, unreal. He was, obviously, Gordy's, what he's done speaks for himself. So, when he spoke, everyone listened. I couldn't keep up with him having a beer, so I left him to go to that. But mate, we had a great time. Look, to be part of an elite environment, obviously Kev leading the way, and then the players that we had, it was just great to just watch them. Like, of course you're there to coach and help and facilitate, but the players that didn't play, they were the ones that really stood out for me, like Mitchell Moses, Dylan Edwards, Ethan Strange, Brayley at hooker. Like they didn't play, but they were preparing the players. Unbelievable, yeah, to play that weekend as if they were playing. So it was really cool to see.
Back to the trophies, and Gordy mentioned it before. 4. You won all 4. Clean sweep this year. World Club champions. You beat the Brisbane Broncos, the powerhouse of the Broncos. How do you rank all 4? What order do you rank them in?
Good question. The first one's always the best because you're euphoric. The way we won that game was pretty much in the 79th minute. You look at a Super League season over there in the UK. They look at the league leaders. It's a big deal because you finish first past the post. But I think the grand final, to win that is probably the best. Look, it's a one-off game against the Broncos. I had players in the team. We had players in the team saying that was the best game they played in all year because it was in Hull. 24,000 felt like 60, and obviously beating the Broncos is not an easy thing to do. So, I suppose for me though, beating Wigan was special because they're a powerhouse club over there, and they have been for many years. So,
and you had some great battles against them as well.
We have, we've had some great battles the last sort of 3 years. As I said, they're a powerhouse club, a club that we've aspired to, and now we've just got to keep working hard to stay where we are.
Well, good luck this weekend up against Leeds. It's a big game.
Yeah, huge game.
Feeling good?
Yeah, be good, mate. Yeah, as long as the boys stay out of the bright lights.
That's your job as coach.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, we'll be okay.
Good on you, Willie. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and good luck this year. Thank you, Gordy. That's it for NRL 360 for tonight, but we'll see you tomorrow night.